Hi everyone, it's Tanya. Welcome or welcome back. And today I'm going to talk to you about my most anticipated releases of 2020. And this list is comprised of different genres. So there is middle grade, there is historical fiction, there is YA, there is fantasy. And I am so excited about all of those books. I really cannot wait for them to be published. So with no further ado, let's just jump right in. And the first book I want to talk to you about is The Mountains Sing. I am not sure how to pronounce her name, so you will see it on the book here, because it's a Vietnamese author. And she is actually a famous Vietnamese poet, and this is going to be her first English novel. And this is a historical fiction novel. It's a multi-generational tale where we follow different generations of the same family, and first we follow a story of a woman born in 1920s when she has to flee her house together with her 6 children, because at that time in Vietnam there were some land reform conducted, and so she had to leave her farm. I don't know Vietnamese history, but this is a great chance for me to learn something. Later we will follow the story of her granddaughter coming of age and just losing her family to a war. And yes, I think it's going to be something along the lines of Pachinko and some other 20th century novels of Asia. And I think it's a very interesting perspective because it's going to be told from a perspective of a Vietnamese person. So we will just get to see how did Vietnamese people feel at that time during all those upheavals and all the struggles. So this is the first novel. I cannot wait to be published. I am so excited. I would read it now. The next book I want to talk to you about is called The Magnificent Monsters of Cedar Street by Lauren Oliver. And this sounds like a mixture of maybe Harry Potter and like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but by a different author. But it sounds so adorable. So this is a middle grade novel, middle grade fantasy novel about a girl who lives in Boston in the end of the 19th century, and together with her father they take care of monsters, different monsters, but their work has to be kept secret because people on the outside don't understand these creatures and they're afraid of them and they call them monsters. One day our main character wakes up to discover that her father has disappeared together with almost all the monsters, and she only finds one cryptic note and which will help her to find her father and all the creatures. And it sounds so good. I love books about monsters and magical creatures. It is just something I love. That's why I'm a big fan of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I don't know what other people say. If they don't like it, that's fine. I love. So, because I just love books about monsters. So yes, I am incredibly excited about this book. I just cannot wait. It will be published, let me tell you when. It will be published in February 11th. So yes, luckily it's going to be published soon because I'm going to pre-order it and get it and read it as soon as it comes out. The next book is called The Henna Wars by, again, I'm not sure about pronunciation of the name, but it's apparently Adiba Jagirdar. You will see on the book. But I apologize for all the mispronunciations of names because names in English are hard for me. So I am very sorry. Don't want to offend anybody. So this book sounds so good. So this is a contemporary which I don't normally read. I don't really like contemporary, but this sounds really good. So this is contemporary romance, LGBT romance. And this is also something I want to read more of. In this book we follow a story, I guess, of an Hindu girl, apparently. I'm not sure, but her just picture on the book suggests that she's from maybe like with Indian heritage. and she comes out to her parents and she says that she likes women, but her family doesn't accept that. They reject her sexuality. They say that she can be anybody but not a lesbian, because a Muslim girl cannot be a lesbian. But she doesn't want to change herself because she accepts the way she is, and she meets this girl and she falls in love with the girl. But one day in their school they have this assignment to create a business, and these two girls, they decide to create the same business, so they kind of become rivals. But our main character just cannot get rid of the feelings she has for the other girl. I think it's going to be very interesting, and the book comes out, let me tell you, May 12th of 2020. Next book is a young adult novel, fantasy young adult, which I haven't had much luck with young adult before. That's why I'm kind of a little bit afraid of this genre, but I really want to give this one a try because it sounds different, and it is based on Western African culture, which currently I am very much interested in. That's why I am excited about the book. And the book is called The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, I guess. But this is a fantasy about this African village where girls, they are either warriors or they are outcasts depending on the color of their blood, which is so interesting. So basically at certain age they have this ceremony where they just check which color is their blood. And our main character Deka, of course she's very nervous about the ceremony because it's soon to happen with her, and she hopes that her blood will be red and she will be accepted by the villagers. But once the ceremony happens, she discovers that her blood is actually gold, and this is a color of impurity in this village, and she would have consequences that are worse than death. That's what they write. But a mysterious woman approaches her and says that she could follow her and fight for the emperor, but she has to leave the village. And since our main character, she struggles for acceptance, she wants to be accepted by her villagers, and she decides to live her life and go to the imperial city, to the capital city. But apparently things are not the way they seem to be in that city. Even herself, again, the words from the synopsis. But sounds interesting. And also just the idea of like having different colored blood and just determining the fate of a person depending on her blood sounds fascinating and interesting. And like what's going to happen in that capital city with her and all the African culture, I am so excited. Also, yeah, they write that this book is perfect for fans of Children of Blood and Bone, which I still haven't read, going to read in January, but I just feel that I'm going to love it. The next book is called Lobizon by Romina Garber, and this is again a young adult novel, fantasy young adult novel, which I am willing to give a try. Again, just because it sounds very interesting. So according to the synopsis, this is a story of a girl who is an illegal immigrant in America, and she lives her small life in her like Miami apartment. She's trying to escape her heritage in Argentina because her dad was somehow a criminal and connected to some like criminal organization. She doesn't know much about it, but she just wants to escape it, and that's why she moved to America. But one day her surrogate mother gets imprisoned and she stays alone, and the only link that she has to her family to learn more about her heritage and like who was her father and what was he doing is this Z emblem. And so she follows the emblem, she follows it. And she discovers that the family history is somehow connected to this Argentinian folklore. And there is this legend that there will be 7 consecutive daughters, and the 7th consecutive son would be a werewolf. And I don't know, she has some magical abilities. I'm not really sure what's going on. But Argentinian folklore, I am interested. I am ready to buy this book just after the word Argentinian folklore. Because this is something I don't know anything about and I want to learn more. So yes, because of that, I'm going to try this YA novel, even though it's a YA, and yeah, I haven't been very lucky with YA, but we will try. Let's see. Let's hope for the best. One more young adult novel, just because it always sounds so interesting. This book is called Forest of Souls. And in this book, we follow a girl who her whole life has been training to become a royal spy. One day, all of her plans are shattered because shamans attack their city and they kill her best friend. But somehow she manages to restore her friend back to life. And she discovers that she is so-called soul guide who summons her to his kingdom because there is like a war looming between like the trees of the forest. I don't know, don't ask me. And his kingdom, and so he needs a soul guide to, you know, restore the peace. And apparently our main character is going to be that person. So I don't know, first of all, I really like the cover. The cover is stunning. And yeah, I feel like it can be a very interesting story. It can be very good. But I'm just afraid. I don't know, all the YA that I read has all my problem with this is that it always feels very pretentious. You know, like all these phrases that they say, like how badass they are. It's just, it feels very pretentious to me, and I just cannot. So this book can be either that or it can be really good. So I don't know, but I might give it a try. So we will see. I'm not really sure about this book, but it just sounds interesting. So like Spider King and Soul Guides and Forest of Souls sounds so good. So yes, I might give it a try. Next book is also a YA fantasy. What can I do? They are really interesting. So, and this is a story about 2 sisters, and I love books about family and sisterhood and brothers, just families. And in this book, 2 sisters are going to be reunited after a long time because one of them has been serving in like royal army, but she arrives earlier because she is hunted by her commander and she is charged with murder. Eventually there is a trial and she is accused of the crime. She's proven to be guilty of the crime, and her sister agrees to serve half of her punishment. And then she's going to learn that there are fates worse than death, according to the synopsis. But sisterly bond, that's what interests me in this book. And the last book I want to talk to you about is Crossing, and this sounds very different, and this is basically a book about books. And in this story, a German Jewish bookbinder finds a mysterious book never seen before, which contains 3 seemingly unconnected stories that can be read in like they can be read just straight through, or they can be read according to some like chapter sequence. And I don't know, it's basically what we know. And these 3 stories are, one is about a ghost, another one is about a queen, and the third one, person who has been cured. Nightmares, a person with nightmares whose nightmares were cured after he fell in love with the artist who drew him. It just, I don't know, sounds different, and I like books about books, so I would like to read that. So yes, there you have it, guys. 7 books that are coming out in 2020 and that I'm most excited about. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what are your most anticipated releases of 2020. And yes, have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon in the next videos. Thank you, bye.